What's up, guys? How you going? This is Average Kiwi Guy, and today we are gonna head up. We're gonna react to the Bethesda E3 conference. Uh, After the EA, Bethesda had a low bar to get over, and I got over it. Really, their bar was like it was what they had set from last year, and last year they set a really high bar. They dropped Fallout 4, and like everyone went nuts over Fallout Shelter as well for a while, and it was real big. And of course they dropped hints at Dishonored 2, and it was just a lot of stuff, and everyone was like, "Holy shit!" And of course they said like, "Oh yeah, we got Fallout 4, and it's like in a couple of months you can have it." And it was like, "Holy shit!" So yeah, so they had kind of a higher, I guess, bar for themselves, but like compared to everyone else at the moment, they didn't have much to get over with the EA. So basically, the way overall, I think Bethesda did alright. I think they showed a good amount of gameplay. I think they showed a lot of things. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh man, it's gonna be like Skyrim this year." They got it in a way, but it wasn't. It wasn't a new Elder Scrolls. I mean, um, but I mean, it'd be pretty unfair. I mean, they've just finished working on Fallout 4, then they got to go and do an Elder Scrolls. I don't know if it's the same dev teams. Obviously, they have multiple dev teams, but you gotta like give them a chance to do it. So I think they're gonna drop Elder Scrolls next year. I think that's the way they're looking at it. I think they're doing their final thing for Skyrim, which is what we'll talk about later on. Uh, and I think that's what, yeah, they're gonna leave it at that. I think, they're gonna leave Skyrim where it is, and then they're gonna move on to the next one. But yeah, so they started off the conference with a bit of a, it was a lot of oldies, a lot of old school gamers would be very, I guess, happy when they saw it, but they may not be happy when they finished with it. So they dropped Quake at the start. Quake Champions. Now, when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Did they turn Quake into a MOBA? Holy crap, they're going to get torn to pieces if they'd done that. But they hadn't. They hadn't turned it into it. It was definitely a shooter. And they said it was a shooter, said arena shooter. And the characters, it looked it was a cinematic, but it was kind of grungy, and the characters looked very unique, and it was very much like it was Quake. It was Quake, but in higher res. But I think the big thing was, and what you started to see at the end of the trailer, was that each individual character has their own abilities. And for those of you who don't know much about Quake is all about, how good you are with the gun that you have. And it's all about the guns. It's all about the guns. Everyone is pretty much on the equal basis with movement and things like that. And it's all about your skill with the guns that you have and your ability to survive that way. And using the environment and things like that. This one, yes, you got the guns and everything, but it has abilities. And a lot of people are going, man, are they tuning? Is this like Quake Watch? Is this, are they going the way that Overwatch went? And I think a lot were a little bit cagey about that. Like, there's a guy with a kind of a Reinhardt charge, and there's a guy that has a teleport, and there's a guy who has wall hacks, and then there's a guy who's got a she's like, oh, there's a girl with a blink. She's sort of got blue flowy hair, and she just blinks around and stuff. But I don't know. For me, I'm not a Quake player. I never played Quake when it came out. It wasn't my deal. I wasn't into PC gaming and things like that, so it wasn't for me. They're going big on, I think it's like 120 hertz. I think they said something like that. I don't know exactly, but they went They were like, this is PC, all right? We ain't toning this down for consoles. This is PC. We're going run max. We're going unlimited frame rate. We're going big on everything. So that dropped, and that was cool, and that was exciting. And a lot of people were excited about it, and then when they started thinking about it, maybe it's not what we wanted. But I think you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith in them. We'll see what happens. They said they're gonna drop more at QuakeCon, which is in August. So we'll have to wait and see to what it's gonna be about. They may show more characters. They may show more abilities, things like that. So. But that's Quake. That was Quake. The weird thing about it is, and this is something that never really showed up at this, and this may not be a game that you guys remember, but I think it was a few years ago, even last year, I think they might have put something about it too. Battlecry. Now, I think it's Battlecry. Battlecry was like their shooter, multiplayer shooter, hero shooter with abilities and everything like that. So it was their Overwatch thing. Battlecry now has had nothing. It had nothing spoken about it. There's no news about it. You go on their Twitter, their last thing was last E3, and it's like it's been abandoned. And by all looks of it, they've put it's like they took Battlecry, right, and they were going along, and they looked around, they saw Overwatch, and I think they saw what happened to Battleborn, and they're like, oh my god, we need something to bring this game out. I know, let's put Quake on it, and let's redo this as Quake. We're gonna bring out the Quake stuff. We're gonna bring out that IP. We're gonna bring out all the assets. We're gonna go that way, and what the heck, we're gonna throw in some abilities too. So I think that may have what's happened. There is still Battlecry stuff around, so I'm not sure. But it's definitely like they are going to go hard on Quake. And I don't think Battlecry is going to survive that. So I think Battlecry might be on the way out. It's definitely either dead or dying. So, one of the two. So that was cool. That was a bit of a kind of a fun way to bring into the conference. It was definitely, built up a bit of hype, and I think that was kind of fun. Then they came in with Elder Scrolls Legends. Now, for those who don't know, that is their TCG, essentially. That their answer to Hearthstone. It's a sort of 2-lane card game. It's kind of a mix of, I would say, Magic and Hearthstone put together. It's very much of a blend like that, but with Elder Scrolls lore behind it. So, I think you each get a hero and you go at it. I have never played it myself. I'm not much of a TCG guy, but from what I've seen, I think TB has played it. It looks good. They said it's got potential. So if you're thinking about it, if you want another TCG, and you kind of tired of Hearthstone, go have a look at it. And sign up for the beta. I think they're expanding the beta through the summer/winter, depending on where you are in the world. So the next couple of months, and they're releasing it, I think, later this year. So. Yeah, if you're into that stuff, that's cool. They had a bit of a cinematic for it. It was a little bit weird. It was like a bunch of stills put together, and they're telling the story with parts moving in it. It was alright. But that's definitely their free-to-play game they're pushing this year. And yeah, it's alright. It was alright. You can't really complain about it. It was what it was. They definitely set the conference up with hype, low hype, hype, low hype, hype, low hype. It was just the way it was. And then after that, so that was Elder Scrolls Legends. There's not much to say about it. And then after that, they bought out Fallout. again. They were like, okay, we're gonna tell you all this stuff about Fallout. So they dropped the Fallout DLC, the rest of the DLCs. Apparently these are the last of the DLCs that are coming out. That the Nuka Land is going to be the last one, apparently. So goodness knows. I haven't really been paying attention to the Fallout DLCs, so I can't really tell you. But apparently, yeah, this is going to be the last one. So the first one they showed was contraptions. Gives you little elevators, can create little puzzles. It's got like conveyor belts and stuff. If you want to make something fun, I guess, contraptions is for you. That comes out next week. It's like if you want to make Mousetrap the game in a video game. Where you go. Then the one that I thought it kind of looked kind of cool was Build a Vault. I think it's Build a Vault, one of the two. Basically, by the looks of it, you discover like a cave and you build your very own vault inside of it and you make your own one. And by the looks of it, it was just Fallout Shelter in the Fallout 4 game. So just better quality. You can do experiments on your vault guys. You can do it all. You can do all the things you could in normal vaults, and you basically make it like a little base, I think. So it was kind of fun, kind of interesting. If you're into that, if you're in base building, I think it'd be really good. I think that comes out in July, so that's coming pretty soon. So yeah, that's more time if you want to keep playing that game and you need something to do, I guess that's something. And then they dropped Nuka Land, and Nuka Land looks like it's going to be the last story-based DLC. They didn't say what it was about. They never said anything. They just showed Nuka Land as this big amusement park. And it looks like it's all filled with bandits and stuff, so maybe it's going to be kind of a weird thing, I guess. Kind of what would you call it? Just a big chaos thing. But yeah, it looks interesting. Kind of fun and quirky, which is what Fallout is. You know, that sort of post-apocalyptic, ways of using different things in a different way, sort of thing. So obviously they're all living in this amusement park. And yeah, so that was Nuka Land. They didn't really say much. It's coming out in August. They never really showed anything other than that. And then they started talking about Fallout Shelter. They're going to do some new updates through July. Like you can send your guys on quests. You can fight new enemies. You get new locations. You find new characters. They have a new combat system coming in, which is like a click and drag thing. I never played it, so I don't know. Those games aren't for me. I don't play mobile games that much, so. And it is coming to PC. So yeah, so it's coming to PC around July, I think. So that's fun, if you enjoyed that. Then all the music came on, the Skyrim music came on, and everyone they sort of took a breath, and some almost had a heart attack, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's just Elder Scrolls Remastered. And of course every PC person's like, fuck man, we got mods, we don't need this shit. But yeah, they're remastering Skyrim, which I think is alright, because that'll be their last thing they deal with Skyrim, and then they'll go on to the next one. So they basically, apparently, if you own the original and all the add-ons, or you own the Legendary Edition on Steam, you can get the upgrade for free on October 28th, which is pretty cool. But everything else, consoles, you have to buy, because it's like upgrading to the Xbox One and PS4. So I mean, it's fair. It looked a bit better. It looked like it had actual textures and I think they had God rays and stuff like that. It looked better, I guess. But I mean, to us on PC, we've had mods that have made the game look like 10 times better for so long now. It's like, we don't really need it. But hey, consoles, you got to keep them happy. So yeah, so they did that. Then then the dudes from Arcane came out, and I think everyone thought, oh yeah, here comes Dishonored 2. Everyone was like, oh yeah. And the guy started talking, and he started going on about, like, we've been doing something different. We've been tinkering away on something that you guys didn't know about. And he start playing this trailer, and it's kind of creepy. It's kind of futuristic, and then it starts sort of becoming like a Groundhog Day thing. And then he like wakes up, and then it turns into like this Dead Space kind of thing, and there's like these black demon things running around and kind of alien things, and the guy's kind of looks like he's going insane, and it looked very interesting and very cool. And it turned out to be Prey. People would say it's Prey 2. I think they're just doing a reboot. They're rebooting it for the new generation. So they're going to make a new Prey. Basically, you're on a space station and you're being tested on. And now the tests have all gone badly, and aliens have invaded the space station, and now you're being hunted by the aliens. So if you're into that stuff, awesome. But yeah, it's definitely very fun and interesting, and it was a bit of a shock. It was a bit of a it was nice to have something new. Well, it's not new, but it wasn't expected, and it was a bit of a highlight in the conference. And it looks cool. It looks intense. It's probably a scary game that I would play. I don't like horror games. I hate them. I never play them. And I never will play them. But this one is kind of like Dead Spacey feel to me. So I may play it. And like the start of it kind of felt like... what did it feel? It kind of felt like Bioshock a little bit. It has that feel to it. And then it's kind of like Bioshock, Dead Space put together, and it looked really cool, and the graphics looked awesome. We'll see what happens as more of it comes out, but it was cool. It was fun. And Prey, I never played the original, but I may play this one, and it looks fun, and it looks kind of interesting. Then of course they went in on Doom. They hyped it up to how we did so well. It's acclaimed, critically acclaimed and all the rest of it, which, I mean, it deserves. The single player is supposed to be fantastic. I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I probably will later on, because I really enjoyed Wolfenstein, the New Order. So if it's not the same storylines, but it plays very similar, so I'd be keen on playing that. But they basically were going on about that, and they said that there is a demo coming out. They're doing a demo for the first level of Doom, of the single player. It's free for all this week, so that's pretty cool. You download it on Steam for free. You get it, and you play the first level. So if you're interested in Doom and you don't know what it's about, and you kind of thought like, hey, I want to play it, maybe give the demo a go, man. That's like the good old days, man. I miss demos. I used to get like the magazines and have the demo CD. Oh, and I just put it in my PlayStation and play that shit. Fuck, man, that was the good old days. Demos, man. But yeah, so they did that, and then they announced that they're going to do multiplayer DLC pack. Basically new maps, a few new modes. I think one was like capture the flag, kinda, and another one, yeah. And I think they're getting new demons, a new gun, and yeah. They're trying to boost up the multiplayer, which kind of sucks at the moment. And they're doing some updates to the Snap map. They're going to give you the ability to use some different things, different areas that you can take from to create your rooms. And also you can use the wheel from the weapon wheel from the single player. So that's kind of cool. You can use that. Then ESO came on, which is Elder Scrolls Online. Raving on about how great they were, how award-winning they were, and like best MMORPG or MMO game or something of the year last year. I don't know how. I don't know when, but they somehow got it. And they said they got it, but they got it from someone. And they were raving on how they had 7 million players. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess 7 million bought it, but I don't think they're playing it. But apparently it's very popular on consoles. It's one of the biggest console MMOs, so... Oh, well, power to you, I guess, but we've got choice on PC, so we don't... I tried that game. I got through the starting zone. I was like, yeah, nah. I'm going back to, I think I was playing Final Fantasy 14 at the time, and I went back to that. That was a far better game for me. If that's on consoles. Go play that. Final Fantasy 14 is a far better game than ESO. But yeah, they did that. They going on about all the changes they made. Apparently they've been updating the worlds and stuff like that. So all power to them. They're releasing in Japan next month, I think, which is cool. But they've got so many other MMOs to play over there. I don't know if they'll bother with it. Then they announced that they're gonna release the Dark Brotherhood DLC on consoles. It looks like a lot of stabbies. I remember the Dark Brotherhood from Skyrim, and they were kind of cool. So, it was kind of a darkish trailer. Kind of fun. I guess if you got something, if you're looking for something new in that game, head on over to that. And I mean, you don't even have to worry about leveling, because they brought in like this one Tamriel thing where they're doing level scaling everywhere. So, anywhere you go, you'll be leveled to that area. So you can play with your friends. If your friends been playing it for a year or so, I guess. Years, if God help them. And you just start, you can go to wherever they are and help them out. Which is really, like, they've been doing it in other MMOs lately anyway. Apparently Legion's doing it for WoW. And I've heard a few other MMOs are doing it too. So they're kind of going the way of, like, we're not going to make leveling, that whole boring leveling stuff, we're not going to make you do it anymore. Which for me, I hate. I don't like that. I like the leveling part. That's my thing. I actually enjoy... That's what I mainly do in Old Republic. It's like, I've got these characters that I just like leveling up. And I'd like to go through all the class stories. That's what I like to do. I enjoy that part of grinding out those levels and getting better and feeling myself get better and feeling my character become more powerful. That's what I like. But they're like, no, we're going to... apparently you can't just go off and get gear. Apparently you really got a quest for it. And it's advised you follow the quest lines. But hey, if you want to go off into the highest levels right off the bat, where you go, because you're going to get leveled to it. But yeah. I don't really play that game, so... I'm sure it'd be fun. I've got it here. I think I got like 2 copies, because I got one free with my, what did I get? I think I got a graphics card it came with. One of the 2. It came free with something. But yeah. If you like ESO, got some new stuff coming. Especially if you're on console. So, have fun with that. Then they finished that up, and they went to Bethesda VR. Now that interests me. I was like, oh, sweet, AAA's coming in VR. I'm keen. I'm down. Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to hear it. They announced that Doom is coming to VR. That they're gonna do Doom in VR, which is kind of cool. It's first-person shooter. It would be pretty awesome being in the VR and stuff like that. And they also announced Fallout 4 is going to be in VR. And it's coming next year. I never really heard when Doom's coming out. I never heard. And I went back and checked again. They never really said. So maybe they're like, it is coming, but we don't know when. But Fallout 4 apparently is coming in 2017. And it's coming to the Vive. Now, all this is coming to the Vive. Apparently, obviously they're not going to bother with Oculus. Who knows? Maybe Vive paid them a lot more money. But it's all coming to the Vive. Which means I'm probably out on that, because I ain't got a Vive or an Oculus. I've got a PlayStation VR coming. So we'll see what they do. They may open it up. I don't think Bethesda's never really been one to really lock it down like that, but we'll see. I think it's like they're testing. They're testing it, and they said they're gonna be the head of the VR train. So it's good though. I like that for VR. I like that AAA titles are making VR versions. I think it's gonna improve. It's gonna improve the quality of VR games overall, and it's gonna keep VR moving. Because if VR becomes stagnant and it becomes boring and the games are just childish and people don't want to play it and it's just party games, it's going to go the way of the Kinect. So hopefully, like the likes of Bethesda, and hopefully tomorrow we're going to see a lot more VR games coming from Microsoft, even Ubisoft, and also Sony. Hopefully that will really help push VR forward. And obviously Nintendo is going to be coming into that as well with their NX whenever they get that out. Yeah. Then to wrap it all up, they bought the another Arcane guy out. And he went through a very long segment of Dishonored 2. Now, honestly, I don't mind this, but a lot of what the people who I was watching this with, they said, like, man, I kind of feel like I'm getting spoiled, like spoiled on the story here. I feel like they're showing me too much. Like, they went through the first they showed us the world, and they showed off the engine, which is the new Void engine they've got for it. They showed off like all the stuff for it, like how the water looks, everything like that. So they went through the world. They went through the new city that you are in. You're not in it's a Dunwall. You're not in Dunwall anymore. You're in like Curicus or something it's called. But it's very kind of Mediterranean, I guess you would call it. It's very kind of yellowy. It's but it's in a port. There's like big pipes, or I think it's monorail things going over the top. It looked very cool. I actually really enjoyed the look of it. And so they did that first. Then they did a cutscene trailer where they announced they already announced last year that Emily, who is the daughter of the Empress, and Corvo, who is the main character in the last one, is going to be a playable character in this one. And they did a cutscene of her like walking in, and she's talking to her father, which is kind of cool to see because Corvo's, it's 25 years later. And Corvo, he's getting a bit rugged. He's got a little bit of grey around him, and his parent, they're talking about the problems that their empire's having, and she's like, man, I'm not very good at this. I wish Mother was still here, and it's kind of nice to see that. It's kind of nice to see that father-daughter relationship still there, and he's still the protector of the royal family. But then shit goes off, shit happens. They never showed what happens, but everything goes down. And they come to a point where you get to choose between playing Corvo or you play Emily. And obviously they want you to do multiple playthroughs of this. And what I'm wondering is, if I play Emily, does the story change to when I play Corvo? Like, do I get to meet new people? Do I get to do new things? The mission's different. Because I don't want to just play, like, I'll probably play Emily first because she's brand new and I want to see the new things. I don't want to have to go back and play Corvo and find that I'm just doing the exact same missions again. And I'm just getting Corvo's opinion on it. I don't want that. I want a new story. I don't mind doing some side quests that are the same, but I want the main storyline to be different. It can end up at the same point at the end. I don't mind that. But I don't want it to be all like you choose a character and then follow the story. I don't want that. I really would like to have two different experiences with both those characters. Because I had that in Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein, you made a choice between two people that you saved, and it changed the game. Well, it didn't change it, but the people and everything that you met and did changed. And it was worth going to playing another game of it. Mind you, though, even playing it once and playing the normal one, it would have been fine. Playing the same person, it would have been fine. But it just, yeah, it was. I hope it's like that, and we get something different. Then they did a mission trailer where they sort of followed Emily through this mission. They jumped parts of it just to speed it up a little bit. And they came out of this doorway and they showed the beautiful city. It looked amazing. I loved the look of it. It's very kind of reminded me of Rio a little bit. Kind of, sort of the buildings inside, within the hills and stuff. It kind of looked very cool. And then they sort of walked you through her powers. Like, if you didn't know, Dishonored 2, you get like black magic powers. They're like demon powers. This guy, I can't remember the name now, but this guy gives you powers, and like Corvo, he got the ability to teleport and slow down time, and it was very cool. On this one, Emily's powers are like, holy fucking shit, they are OP as hell. They must have a drawback, because the ones I saw, so instead of the teleport or the blink, she has this grab. And apparently this grab can be upgraded to the point where you can grab enemies and drag them to you and kill them. And you can grab like the whale can explosives, which like any whale, or the whale oil is explosive here. So you throw it and it boom, it goes up. So she can grab them and drag them back. And like she uses that as like a grappling hook, and she's like, it's kind of like her blink. And it's very cool, and I like that. It was actually a very cool difference. It's a difference between the blink, because if you just redid the blink, it'd kind of be boring. Like, you might as well just be playing Corvo again. So that was very cool. It's like reach out and grab stuff. Then they showed off. They showed off Mesmerize. I think it was the next one. And Mesmerize, she creates this like weird, like shape thing, like demon thing. I guess it looked weird, and it mesmerizes anyone in the area. And like it mesmerized like these two guys and the dog, and like she just walked up to them, like said hey, and walked past them. Just like that. Like they didn't know she was there. It was like the great stealth thing ever. It was very interesting power. I quite like that one. Then they got to a point where they had a bunch of guys and the main target, and they wanted to get rid of all the guards without really causing a ruckus. So she set a stun mine, and then she used this power called Domino, and it connected all the different people that you set it on, and whatever happened to one of the people, the other two felt it. They got the same thing. So say you killed that one person, they all die. And this one guy comes around, he checks this, you do this thing, and it brings him around. And he gets zapped, and they get stuns and falls down. The others fall down. And then she uses this crazy shadow walk thing, turns into the shadow beast, and just rips this dude apart. And they're like, holy fucking shit, what is this? Oh, man. And then on top of that, so they did all this stuff. They've done all this. They've walked through the powers. They've shown the gameplay. They've shown all this stuff. And they're like, fucking hell. They show this like brief thing where she has this gadget. And it's like the shards on top, like this glass shards. And you see through it. And what happens is when it's open, it can see into the past or into the future. So she can look at a door, like she's in this derelict house. She can look through it and she sees it pristine and brand new. And so she can use it to get past, she could get past this door because the door was locked in the past but was open in the future. So she went through it, but then she was blocked by debris, but the debris wasn't there in the past. So she opened it, saw it in the past, went back to the past. So she time travels now. And now she could get past it. And she could use it to like... So there are guards in the past, but none in the future. So she would go into the future, see where the guards are through the viewing port that she has with this like device thing. And she just sneaks up on them, gets behind them, then travels back to the past, kills them, and then she can travel back to the future, and the other guy can't see her. It is OP as shit, and it didn't look like it sucked up any, like, I don't know if it has limited uses, or it's going to be in a very small area that you can use this, but it was OP as hell, man. If you could do that to everyone, you will not be touched in this game, but obviously they're going to balance it somehow. But yeah, Dishonored 2 looked very cool. That's coming out on the 11th of November. So that's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be a very busy few months. Really, like late August onwards is just going to be insane because you got like so many big things coming out that around that time of the year. It's going to be busy, man. But yeah, so yeah, Dishonored 2. Yeah, I felt it was very long. I don't think it needed to be that long. I think they could have, like, they showed, like, another trailer, and it was just, like, it had a few new things, but most of it was just what they showed us again. So, it was, like, I think what they spent, about 15, 20 minutes showing all this stuff. It was crazy, man. But, yeah. But I was quite happy, because I'm a Dishonored fan, so I was like, all power to them, show me all the stuff. But some people, they're like, hey, man, I feel like I'm getting spoiled. I would have liked to have, you know, found out about this stuff on my own, or like watch my favorite streamer or something like that, which, you know, I can understand because I would have liked to stream this game and like cut up to this part and go, whoa, what the hell is this? And it would have been kind of cool. But yeah, so in conclusion, overall I felt the Bethesda conference was good. I think it was solid. I think it was hard for them to back up what they did last year, and I think it's unfair of us to kind of like put that on them and say, like, you have to do that. I think, like, come on, it's like, hey, just give them a break, you know? They can take a year off. They're giving us Dishonored 2. They've shown us Prey. They've already put Doom out this year, so they're not going to do much else there. Plus, they're finishing up what they're doing with Fallout 4. I think let them go. And they were always going to show ESO, and they were always going to show the card game. And they gave you Quake. And if you can have your reservations about Quake, but they gave you Quake, and they're reviving it, so hopefully that'll be good. I think Overwatch needs competition to keep it honest. So, and I think it will be linked to Overwatch, unfortunately, just the way it looks. It looks very similar to the likes of Lawbreakers 2. So, yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good conference. It gave you some hype. It gave you some. It had a bit of a surprise in the middle. And yeah, they did what they think they needed to do for this year. I think next year, obviously they'll probably have Elder Scrolls next year. I think that's going to be the big thing. And yeah, I think they'll be okay. You know, they're fine. Bethesda's fine. They beat EA. I think anyone could have beaten EA today, but they beat EA. They're obviously leading at the moment. Sort of out of 10, I would give it a solid, I think, a 7. I think 6, 7, around that range. Probably a very low 7, maybe a high 6, if you want to even count that. Yeah, so it's worth checking out. Worth checking out, seeing it all. Especially if you're getting into it. Yeah, it definitely was worth watching. Right, so that is it for today. That's all the conferences for today. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. Would very, very much appreciate it. Also, I am a Twitch streamer. That's what I mainly do. Hit me up at twitch.tv/AverageKiwiGuy07. I'm a brand new streamer, so we're looking to build up the channel as much as we can. We're basically I stream a lot of Overwatch. I stream really any cool fun games that come out as they happen. We're probably going to be doing some Arc RP and stuff like that. So yeah, come check us out. We stream every weekday, PDT. So yeah, it's good fun. And yeah, and you know, if you want to be part of a new channel and help build it up, you know, I'm more than keen to have you guys around. Also hit me up on Twitter at AverageKiwiGuy there. Any weird things that pop in my head, I normally put up my Twitch schedules, the odd fan art stuff. I do a bit of drawing sometimes. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on there. And yeah, and obviously check out all the other videos on the channel. If you would, that'd be very nice. All right, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That has been Bethesda E3 conference reaction. We'll be back tomorrow with the Microsoft. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the PC Gamer. We'll see what, you know, if anything new comes out with it. But it'll definitely be the Microsoft, the Ubisoft, and the Sony, and then maybe the PC Gamer. But yeah, all right, boys. Hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Bye.